are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the December 22nd meeting for the LaPorte County Council. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening. Welcome to the December 22nd, we'll call it atypical county council meeting if we were to ask Mr. Yagelski. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Kessler, if you'd lead us, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Otter, the roll, please.
Present. Present.
Present.
Present.
Present.
Present. Present.
Thank you. At this time, I'll entertain a motion of approval for the agenda.
Mr. President, I have two corrections at this time to the agenda as it was presented. Under new business and additional appropriations, please strike LaPorte County Information Technology from the agenda for this evening. And then to add under transfers and permission to spend, appropriate, need to add a motion of support for JSC for a business hub printer.
Any other changes? With that, I'll take a second.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Kessler, second by Ms. Heath. All in favor of approving the agenda, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. How about approval of the November 24th meeting minutes?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion approved by Mr. Mullenhour, second by Mr. Kessler. All in favor of the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Public comment. Public comment is now open.
Change seats, huh?
Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Sean Fagan, private citizen. I hail from South County, LaPorte County. The Christmas season is all about paying it forward, whether you're observant of the holiday or not. When good things happen, I believe you should pay it forward and acknowledge the good things that happen to you and to others so that people can get the acclaim. I was shopping in downtown LaPorte on Saturday and went to a number of local businesses within the downtown. Now, I have a special needs child, and it can be a handful going into local businesses with this child. But I went to two businesses in downtown. They were very accommodating, great staff, and I don't necessarily want to name them, but very good people. And I just want to say the environment during the holiday season in those two local establishments were very good. So I just want to say that and encourage others that during this time that people are different. They're going through their own similar situations, but that whatever you can do to help special needs children, special needs adults, that kind of thing, that you try to do it as best you can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other members of the public? With that, public comment is now closed. Let's start with department head reports.
Good evening. Steve Irick, Chief Probation Officer, Adult Probation. So I'm here tonight to request a little clarification and respectfully ask for consideration regarding the 26 salary ordinance as it relates to probation officers. The council approved a 3% raise for all counties' employees in 2026. However, under the probation section, it references the state salary schedule, and then it also says a 3% increase on that sheet. However, because the state of Indiana did not adjust the schedule for 26, the probation officer salaries remain unchanged. As it stands, probation officers are set to receive no raise next year. I recognize that probation officers and county employees follow separate salary structures, and that over the time, there have been years where one group received a raise and the other did not. While those historical comparisons can be viewed from multiple angles, my focus tonight is on the real-world immediate impact this will have in '26. What makes '26 different is the convergence of rising costs and flat wages. With the county's new health insurance plan, employees will see about a 10% increase in premiums, along with higher out-of-pocket expenses for medications. Personally, this will affect me by an additional $1,387 per year. And many other in our department face similar increases. So all other county employees will receive a 3% raise to help offset these costs. Probation officers will not, meaning they'll see a reduction in take-home pay, despite facing the same cost of living increases. There are 27 probation officers in LaPorte County, adult and juvenile combined. That's only 4% of the county workforce, yet they supervise over 1,800 individuals in this community at an estimated savings of about $97,000 a day, considering prison costs. It's also to remember that probation officers must hold a bachelor's degree, are required to pass a certification test, and must complete continuing education annually to remain certified. They meet these standards year after year, and they serve in the roles that directly support public safety, reduce jail overcrowding, and help people reintegrate successfully into the community. And yet in '26, they are the only group of county employees not receiving a raise, despite having the same economic needs and rising expenses as their colleagues, some of whom work alongside with them in these offices. I'm not here to talk about the state schedule or debate past differences. I'm simply asking, was it the council's intent to exclude probation officers from the '26 cost of living increase while granting it to all other employees? If not, I respectfully request that you reconsider and extend the 3% increase to probation officers for 2026.
Okay. Thank you.
If I could ask a question.
Yeah.
Are these employees paid out of the general fund or out of from
General
the
fund.
state?
General fund.
What has usually happened in the past when raises were given to other county employees?
Well, it has been kind of different because historically, if county employees didn't get a raise and the state salary schedule, because the state mandates what our salary is. And if the state gave us like a 3% raise and the county gave nothing, the county would pay that 3%. And there are times when probation officers didn't get a raise and county employees did. And then there's a series of bonuses years gone by. But 4 years ago, I think it was, all county employees got 10%. And then the following year, 5%. And that covered probation. It wasn't just the standard county employees, even though I think we received 3% one year and probably about, I forget what it was those years. But we received the 10%, we received the 5%, and this year is the first year that we have kind of caught up to the salary schedule. Salary schedule lagged behind because of that, and now we're at about the same price. So in 2026, the state didn't give judicial officers any increase, which is what affects our pay.
So the state sets the floor and the
Yeah.
county has to meet that floor. So when we gave the 10% increase before, we exceeded that floor and
that's
now
fine.
we've caught up.
Yeah, because the salary schedule says that this has to be the minimum, the floor, like you said, and counties can pay more. That's not the issue.
So the only point of contention there is not even a contention, it's more along the lines of a question is, I'm not sure if the interpretation of a floor or if that is, maybe it is as a floor because it is coming out of the general fund. We're providing the funds. Right. But if you recall, Mr. Irick, you provided the data to me for the last 21
Right.
years of raises, and I provided a few different analyses, right? I gave
Exactly.
for 21 years, for 10 years, and for 5 years. And for each one of those models, the state increase rate
Right.
came ahead of what the county employee increase rate would be. So
For
regardless.
the long term, yes.
For the long term
Yeah.
and for the short term.
Well, over
so-
the past few years, we just evened it out this year, 25.
What I'm talking about is the compounding rate, the compounding impact. So for a 5-year, starting in 2021, if a county employee that started with a $40,000 salary and a probation officer with a $40,000 salary.
Right.
And we use the county increase rate and the state increase rate for both of them, in year 2025, the probation officer would be making $47,824. The county employee would be making approximately $700 less per year.
Right.
If we go back to 10 years and do the same equation, it comes out to $53,633 versus $51,156. And we go 21 years, and it ends up approximately a $6,000 gap between the two schedules.
Yep.
So the one consideration that I make that did not consider when looking at these models is exactly what you said about the insurance and being slightly different. And that's the one thing I would be willing to go back and reconsider for all of this. But in terms of the precedents that we've always increased or not, is not necessarily the case here. I may have for a couple of years ago and set a new precedent with the 5 and the 10 back to back.
Yeah, and before then, it's just been separate, completely separate. Except there were years where employees were given bonuses, and I think every employee got those bonuses for a couple of years. I'd have to
Yes, they did.
ask them to look.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, I thought so.
So when we've offered bonuses to all county employees before, your employees also benefited from those? I guess I'm having trouble seeing what's the point of treating them separately when it's just a floor. So inevitably, we're going to be forced to increase the pay. If we increase it now, at least they're able to use it to help offset their insurance costs.
Correct.
If
So
we just wait till
so-
next year when the state forces us to do it, that's when it will take
Right.
effect.
So let's say we get the 3% this year, and we don't pay probation officers the increase. So in 27, if the state brings that level up 3%, then we'll be entitled to that. Or vice versa, if you give probation a 3% raise, and next year the state says, all right, we're going to raise it 3%, it will come up to where we are, if that makes sense. And the insurance was, yeah. I went through today and looked at my meds, and yes, I may take a few more meds than some of my younger colleagues, but yeah, altogether it was like $600 or $700 out of pocket for meds and another $7 for the premiums that went up.
What it does is it provides some context, and that's some
Yeah.
stuff that we need to probably consider.
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, Mr. Presley, you're his liaison, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything you'd want to add at this point? Any discussions you've had in?
I think he's covered it all
Okay.
pretty well on how this is all working for him.
All right.
And if you want, I printed more of those if you guys want a copy of what I said.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Is there any other business you want to cover?
Sorry. Not as far as department head comments. I got a couple things that are coming up on the agenda.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I've got one.
Mine ended down there.
No, yours is right here.
Oh.
I mean, if you want yours back, I'll give yours back. You're all good.
All right. Any further department head reports? Commissioners? All right. With that, department head reports are closed. Let's move on to the liaison reports.
Feeling okay? I'll speak next year.
I'm sure you will. All right. Mr. Mollenhauer.
Just got a couple things. December 5th, I attended the semi-annual Community Advisory Board meeting out at the New Indiana State Prison, Westerville Correctional Facility, and learned that I had a tour, learned everything's on schedule and on budget, and everything's just going well, they said. So a little cold out there, but it was that day anyway, but they're moving right along. Also on the same day, December 5th, my wife and I attended the Paladin Open House, which I know some of you did also, and was very enlightening, and some changes that have been made in the past that I didn't know about. And of course, this facility has been in existence quite a while for challenged individuals with disabilities, and it was with the remodeling and the new system that they're, I guess, teaching that they're going through right now. Like I said, it was very enlightening, and they're just doing a terrific job out there, I think. And then on December 10th, I attended the Sheriff's Merit Board meeting, Commission Board meeting, and on December 10th, I also attended the Solid Waste District Board meeting. And then I have one other thing. I want to apologize. I was going to mention at the beginning of the meeting with the President, and I forgot. But for a moment of silence, I think probably most of you heard of former Councilman Scotty Ford passing away. And Mark, how many years was he? Two terms?
2 terms.
2 terms, 8 years, and just want to send condolences to his family and friends, and we have prayers for them. And Scotty was just a great guy. Yep. I know he was always easy to work with when I was sheriff, and just fair and honorable. So
Thank you for bringing that up.
missed. Thank you. That's all I have.
All right, Mrs. Heath.
I'm not officially a liaison to anywhere, but I did attend the MS4 meeting last week. Nothing really vital to report there.
Okay. And that will be resolved first of
Thank
the
you.
year. Well, by whomever sits in the seat.
Okay.
So don't you worry, we'll get you a whole stack of liaisons. For my own report, mostly this month has been talking with just different department heads, but Guy and I were going to have a meeting with the coroner, although 2 of us ended up having surprises that led to us not being able to have that meeting, so hopefully we'll be able to reschedule soon. And then the rest of my time has been focused on trying to find ways to beef up our salary ordinance, and I hope to talk about that later when we get to the salary ordinance.
Very good. Mr. Pressel.
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Yagowski.
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Kessler.
The biggest thing for this month would be the fact that we just had our small animal board meeting last week, and we finally have struck the interim part off of our director, Brooke Kegamine, so we do now have a director out there. She accepted the position with the blessing of the board. So that would be the biggest thing I have to report at this time.
Okay.
Thank you.
One additional meeting to add would be just last week reviewed, was a strategic technology review for the various county departments. It was hosted by, I think, a combination between E911 and IT with the review that was promoted or presented by Abbenmarsh. And this is entirely for GIS systems and where they interact with various departments and how to go forward with getting up to, let's say, the current state of technology with this. Few of you, I brought some additional information from that meeting for your review, and realistically, it just comes down to how do we want to bring ourselves back to the 21st century with GIS, because we do have a failing system that needs to be considered. So just food for thought at this point. In addition to that, it's been heating everywhere. I've spent a lot of time with Commissioner Hollifield and others related to 2 emergency declarations that we're going to talk about later. One being the temporary heating solution for the 813 Lincoln Way, LaPorte Courthouse, in order to figure out how we're going to get the actual system back online properly, and the other being sudden failure of 2 heat exchanger coils for the JSC. One was repairable, one was not, so that's where the emergency declaration came in. So with that, that's all I have to report. With that, do we have any correspondence?
We have shared most correspondence that you've received with you. The additional correspondence that has not been shared is that we started receiving people's requests to become put on boards, and those boards, we will have all those ready for you. Some of them will have to be decided on the very first meeting, and the rest of them can wait till the second meeting. But we always have a few of them that we need at the first meeting, so we'll have that out to you hopefully the week before.
Okay.
If it's possible, I know thinking back to prior years when we've gotten these, sometimes it comes in the form of a bunch of emails. I'm sure you remember when you were on council. if you're feeling up to it and you can think of creative ways to like organize them so it's easier to see.
It's better if
who
we
we've
can give
got
you a
for
list
everything.
with the supporting emails, so in case anybody adds something, you
Yeah.
get to see their correspondence. But we'll have it in a list format for you.
Or perhaps a drive folder that they can be added to as they come in or something like that. Just, I know there's a lot to look through and it's hard to lay them all out when there's like 20 plus of them.
And then sometimes we pick names that weren't even on the list.
There is that. All right. With that, let's move on to ordinances and resolutions. So we have in front of us, we have the 2026 salary ordinance. Mr. Otter, I know we've been speaking to this extensively. Previously, we had salary discussions and other account discussions that have changes on here that we have not talked about, right? Or talked about separately from budgets, right? I know we had the building commissioner salary change that was there. We've obviously had some discussion regarding adult probation at some point. And then, of course, there's one for your office, sir.
Yes, stipend for the auditor.
Okay. Previously, you mentioned that this was a part of legislation that gives us the opportunity to provide this. Do you know more on the history of that legislation, how that came about? I tried to do my own research, didn't find much.
I couldn't tell you how it came about, but at least I became aware of it because I'm very active in the auditors group emails and also with a lot of the auditors. And what I can tell you is more than 70% of the auditors are receiving it.
Okay. Okay. And so that's stipend.
I will also say not every county had heard about it.
Interesting detail there, because you'd think that they would share alike when it comes to that. So that increase is separate from the general fund, would be destined for the auditors ineligible deductions fund. Is that?
Yeah, so what's happening there is it's growing very quickly because of the work that's being done on it. We're finding, I don't want to use the word tax cheats, but people who had homesteads who shouldn't have homesteads. And we need to spend that money on the auditor's office, and I felt that this was a good opportunity to not use taxpayer funds, to use those funds. They're technically sort of delayed taxpayer funds, but it's not coming right out of the general fund.
Okay.
And when it comes to the amount for the, just to go on about the Planning Commission, those funds, I know that you're under one impression. We're going to research it to see if the funds can come out of the contractor's fees. If they cannot, we'll figure out another plan. But we wanted to make sure we had the right time to do that. So there'll be an additional appropriation if necessary on it. But right now, it's currently put in to the general fund, which there's not enough funds in the budget for it. But we will. So we're going to have to appropriate somewhere somehow, and we'll figure that out very, very soon.
Okay.
It's hard to, one other comment, it's hard to get anybody right now at the state.
Understandably so. This is coming up on a holiday week. So are there any other changes that we didn't cover during budget sessions?
There's just there's one minor number change that just came before the meeting. We're going to verify the number. We can insert that. It's within a few $100s of the number that's being presented. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't mind if there was a change made, to let everybody know, and that change would then be input, and barring any other changes.
Okay.
I thought we needed to do a motion first to get this started before you have a discussion, but I could be wrong.
Actually, if it'd be possible, I think there's a couple different things in this that we might want to vote on separately. One being the adult probation, the other being the auditor's stipend, and there may be other pieces that we wish to discuss as well. Perhaps we can do them one at a time and then approve the full thing with all of those components. So we each have a chance to weigh in on the different pieces.
Mr. Attorney, what do you recommend?
Well, Robert's Rules of Order says there should be a motion on the table,
Okay.
no matter what it is, and then you can have a discussion.
All right. So with that, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move to discuss the adult probation office first and then move on to the next thing and discuss that next. Does that work?
There's a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Keel, second by Mr. Pressel. Any further discussion related to adult probation? Or do we want to just pass the motion and go with that discussion?
I guess my motion was just to discuss it, so there we
Fair
are.
enough.
But
All right, that's your motion. So all in favor of going forward with discussion related to adult probation adjustments as discussed during department head reports signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
So, on the topic of adult probation, it seems unfair to me to not include them in the 3% raise. The fact that the floor that the state is setting is a dollar amount, not a percentage amount. It's not that they come in next year and they'll say you need to increase it by 4%, right? They're going to come in with a dollar amount that you have to meet it, right?
Well, it's a dollar amount, but it's based on a percentage. So
Okay.
when state judicial employees, they'll say the state judicial employees get a 4% raise, 3%, whatever. But
The percentage they're
Bottom line.
increasing it is based off of something outside of what our salaries are. So,
correct. But the probation schedule, then, they will issue that to probation departments, and that's what we use for our budget. And it also encompasses juvenile probation officers, too, because we have 18 adult officers, they have 9 juvenile officers. So when I mentioned that the 27 or 26, whatever I put in, it was both of them, both of us.
Mr. President.
Oh, Mr. Yagowski.
The one point of contention would be that if next year things don't look really well right at this point, that we don't have a raise increase next year, but yet you guys do get one. How does that work then? Because this is where the problem in the past has come up with, so.
Right. So if the state next year says, state employees get, or judicial employees get whatever percent it is, 2%, 3%, 1%, then we would look at what that salary schedule is. And if we're making more than that based on this year's 3%, if we get that, then we will wait until we catch up, which is what we did with that 10% and 5%. Once we caught up to it, then, or once the salary schedule met those dollars, for instance, this year was the first year that we hit that. For the past couple of years, we didn't see any raise. And then in '25, the salary schedule was just like 1% higher.
I understand it was 1%. Yeah, we looked at the numbers. So next year, there might be, if you do get one, there might have to be a makeup if we don't receive raises.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what's going to happen next year. I imagine there will be something.
Or to tell us what's going to happen next year.
Yeah. So
For some rough figures, it's looking at roughly $48,000 impact to the general fund for adult probation and $24,000 impact to the general fund for juvenile probation. If we look at total impact as a whole, including what's coming out of other accounts such as lit, it's about 73,000 and change, what you came up with, so. So what's everyone's thoughts here? Any further questions?
I'll just say that it feels unfair to me for us to signal to employees that we're going to give a 3% raise across the board, and then we go back and kind of single out some that don't get it. I know there's special circumstances with your department, but we also have increase in insurance costs. It just doesn't feel fair to the worker, so I'm hesitant to not do something to fix that.
If that's the case, Mr. President, just for technicalities before the salary ordinance can be voted on, there was a motion, and you brought it up, that it was me that brought it up during the budget hearings. That would have to correct that first, and I would like to make a motion right now, which you're allowed to do till December 31st, make a motion to open up our 2026 budget. And then you'll figure out what I'm doing, is just take my word for it.
All right, so I have a motion to open up the 2026 budget. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Yagowski, second by Mrs. Heath. All in favor of reconsidering the 2026 budget, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Mr. President, I'd like to redo my motion that I gave of 3% with all the other caveats that we did add with the other, and add the other caveats that the 3% would be an increase for 2026, we also receive, the 27 employees would also receive the 3%.
For adult probation and juvenile probation?
Yes, sir. So just trust me on this.
So a motion to include the 3% to adult and juvenile probation from Mr. Yagowski. Do I have a second?
Second.
Both of you.
Second by Mr. Pressel. Any further discussion?
I guess I'm looking to the auditor and attorney for, are we actually able to modify our budget at this point?
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely, you
it's-
can. I can tell you for a fact, we can to December 31st, you can.
And, okay,
That's
I'm
legal.
just surprised because they're going to
Yep.
issue a budget order, so how are we able to change the amount? The 1782 notice is done. We've already went through the process of holding all of our budget workshops and hearings and adoption. I'm just not sure how it could be changed at this point.
Go ahead. Let her, I'm going to let her, because she's got more experience on it. I just know the date that we can do.
We have done this since the time I was the auditor. Whenever you do your budget, you always put in a little extra money in the budget. I think I explained this to you on the phone. So that if there are unforeseen circumstances, you have that excess in the it's kind of like padding the budget. And there's not a county in Indiana that doesn't do this. They always have a little extra, and the state knows that. So I don't know the exact numbers right off the top of my head, but if you'll remember, we left off EMS, and we said that we have to come back in the first meeting in January and fund EMS from that excess. So this is the same kind of thing. And if you're talking about $48,000, that's a kind of drop, not to be callous about it, but that's kind of a drop in the bucket compared to the $50 million budget that we're close to.
It is, but there's two things in there. We're padding the levy when we advertise it in order to make sure that the amount that's advertised is higher than what we end up adopting, because you can't adopt something higher than what you advertised. So that's true, but we don't have excess in the actual revenue that's
Money?
coming in to fund this. We're using savings in order to fund it.
We have, trust me on this, we have the excess. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to fund EMS.
Absolutely. But the excess is savings.
Mark can verify this.
Actually, Mrs. Winsky, the state of Indiana wants us to be up to 10% of a padded budget. Whether we look at it or not, that's what they want us to get at some point.
But we never voted on salaries until January, practically, because the budget was always pushed back. Now they accelerate the budget process a little more than they ever did. And so sometimes our salaries weren't passed till the first meeting in January.
Yeah, which we're not allowed to do because elected officials can't have their salaries adjusted within the year.
They're
What?
We're not elected.
I know they're not, so they're fine. But when we've passed salary ordinances in January, that's a problem in the past, that's why we're having this meeting.
We're passing in December right now.
Exactly, to avoid that. I think we're using different terminologies on the budget being padded. What they're saying is you want an operating balance of 10%.
I'm just using a number. You can define it how you want. I don't care. It's just, I'm just saying we have excess.
The budget itself, our budget that's planned for next year, does not have a pad of 10% in it. Our cash balance.
I said
is maybe
they would
10% of what we're spending.
the state of Indiana would like us to have 10. I didn't say we had 10%.
From the results that they came up with from the most recent audit closure, was they talked about levels of 5, 10, and 15%. And 15% is best in class of having an operating balance at the end of the year. At this point, I think we're running somewhere on the order of 9 was the estimated is where we were at for.
I thought it was like 11. But,
Give or take
11. That's 10%.
Here's the other thing. When we pass a budget and the state takes it, it doesn't include salaries and doesn't include IT, $80,000 or whatever it is. It's one number. It's like, and I'm going to say the wrong number, but I'm just going to say it for the sake of argument. It's like our budget is going to be $49 million. And so what they do is they look at the $49 million and all the funds that go with it, all the revenue that goes with it, and they say yes or no. That yes, you're going to be able to raise that, or no, you're not going to. But we don't break down the budget to the state. The only thing we break down to the state are the funds. If you look at the 1782 notice, you'll notice that there's one number at the top. And then the rest of it is the Major Bridge Fund, the Cume Bridge Fund, CCD Fund, all the other funds that get our tax base. That's what they're looking at. They don't care how much you're going to give for raises. They don't, as long as you can afford it, as long as it's within that 49 million. When you guys do the budget, you break it down for each department's budget. But the state doesn't see that, and they don't care what that is.
But they do see that. That's budget form 1. That's the line item budget estimates that get
They
sent to
don't
them.
see every single budget. They don't.
They don't see the line items that we submit to them?
The line items that I just told you that are on the 17, they don't see IT is going to get $80,000. They see that
It's on their website.
They're not worried about the details, okay?
Worried about
They want to just know what the total number is when they're doing the 1782.
see.
That's what she's trying to tell you what we focus on.
Okay.
I also wanted to add two things. One is whatever the 3% is, you have benefits that go along with it, and a quick calculation, that's another $14,000. But then I also asked this question: if he wants the 3% increase now to match everybody else, but next year if you give a 3%, but the state doesn't give anything, or we don't give anything in the state, but the last 2 years, how come those don't count towards this 3%? When they've gotten raises the past 2 years, how come they don't count and offset this year's 3%?
I think Mr. Irish said that when we gave 10% before, that caught us. That was ahead
I
of what
just
the
threw
state
that
was
out
saying.
there, and you can.
And then the
it's
state
not
has
for you
given
to-
raises the last several years, and now it's about caught up, right?
Right.
Or how much ahead of what we were required to pay are we?
Adam, do you know where we are?
I don't know where we're at. in
We're,
terms of
we're,
what
we're meeting the
model.
schedule. We're meeting the salary schedule requirements. So we're there this year and 26, because it's the same. We're getting the same this year and next year. So the
From
salary schedule.
the state's floor is the same this year and next year.
Absolutely.
And where it gets sticky is also the restructure of the insurance to where there's added cost to the employee.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was the big focus
But
for me to
employees had that
tell you about the
problem.
insurance issues. Because we've been 2 months now into the new insurance plan, and when I go get meds, they say, oh, $20, whereas before it was no cost. So, and plus a 10%, I think, increase of premiums across the board.
Okay.
Motion on the floor, yeah.
Yes, there is a motion on the floor.
The motion on the floor is to include them in the 3%.
Include them in the 3%.
You got a second, right?
Yeah, that was
You get
seconded by
seconded.
Jimmy.
Yep.
Jimmy seconded that.
So, any other questions, concerns? Mr. Molinar?
Just figure the amounts. So it was 48 and 24? Is that what it was? Adult
Roughly.
48, 24,
Roughly.
juvenile? So, and then the 14,000 roughly benefits would be what, around 86,000 then, roughly, ballpark. Correct? I think so.
Yes.
I think there was a question to you, Mr. Auditor. Is that,
That is the right number.
okay.
I thought I shook my head, sorry.
I don't know. I just wanted to catch
It's
it.
best to get clarity.
Yeah.
I agree, yes.
Do you have anything else, Mr. Molinar?
No, that's it. Just one of those numbers. Thank you.
All right. With that, call for the vote. All in favor of extending the 3% to adult and juvenile probation in addition to the budget, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
Nay.
Sorry, did I do a roll call?
You may- Yes, you may.
Right, Kessler?
Nay.
Sorry, Nate?
Nay.
Justin Field?
Aye.
Adam Brown?
Nay.
Mike Mullenhour?
Nay.
Jennifer Gee?
Aye.
Jimmy Presley?
Aye.
Mark Yagowski.
Aye.
David Swarthry.
Okay.
Mr. President,
Mr. Yagowski.
motion to close the 2026 budget.
Motion to close 2026 budget. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Yagowski, second by Mrs. Heath. All in favor of closing the budget, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay. Do you have any recommendations since you were breaking down how we wanted to look at this?
Well, the next thing that comes to mind is were there any other departments that had a similar situation to adult probation and juvenile probation that were like this, where they may not have gotten the 3%?
No, there was other ones that were not that,
They were amount-based.
there was like, for example, there's grant people that, but I included that in my motion, all the other people, and there was exceptions to the case that we have for the highway department for the bridge tenders, or part-time, full-time, that we have a special category for. So that was part of the motion I did, but I did not, because in the past we never had to include them, I did not include them. That's what I did not do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Part-timers were not included.
And part-timers were not included, right?
They were also specifically excluded.
Part-times did not get 3%?
No.
They did not. It was specifically included as
Rate-based.
their rates are.
We do per hour.
Haven't
We
changed
don't-
much
we don't-
per
and we've increased their rate per pay, but we don't give them percentages, no. Never have. I'm not saying you can't do it.
Dollar per hour that went up 3% then?
No.
Stayed flat. at
They did not
60.
increase a penny.
If you want, we
still at the
did
same
not
rates.
give an increase for that, no. The
Full-time
Top rate is
full-time
1650,
employees.
1430 to 1650.
So why would we not give a 3% increase to part-time employees?
I'm not the one who voted, and
This is-
you guys voted on it, so
This
please.
is, when we find a need to increase it because of demand this has nothing to do with this situation that we have county employees. They're set county employees. The part-time employees are because it's whatever the market will bear. And that's how we've increased their pay in the past. It has not to do with percentage, never has, and as long as it has never gone in that way in the past. We don't always give them a raise, but when we feel the number needs to go up because the market says it, it's a market-driven base.
This just strikes me as odd that, as the cost of living goes up, we aren't covering the people who are already making the least in the county?
We do cover when the market goes up, we will increase we have done numerous, they have received some pretty substantial raises over and above our past raises in the past.
So if I may, the one thing that we do got to consider the fact is that they have a range, right? It's 1430 to 1650, and generally each department head will set their budget, I would assume, to the 1650 rate, and they will hire accordingly based off of their experience within that range and adjust again within their allowances there, because it's not something that needs to come before us because it is a budget line item, and as long as they're working within their budget, they're okay.
Usually they start them at the lower amount, and then 6 months they can give them an increase if they feel they're.
That is most likely the way that I would operate it. I can't answer for
That's
all.
the way business does, so I know that's the thing.
But the dollar amount that they have budgeted for part-time help didn't increase at all either. So they're effectively what they're going to be able to get out of this is going to shrink over time.
Again, this is in a subject that's not even a budget. We've increased different numbers over the years. We can do that anytime you want. If you feel the number is not adequate, show me proof that it's not. We gave some we gave more substantial amount of raises to the part-time, higher than all the rest of the employees received.
The one thing that we did not receive was a bunch of feedback from our department heads and elected officials that utilize part-time, saying, I need a higher rate. We got to use, instead of working off of maybe an assumption or a presumption or even just the feel that it needs to be fair, it would look more as terms of kind of the market rate as to where Mark's talking to is, I can't get good part-time help because.
Yeah, I mean, the coroner has brought up this concern with her employees, but they are also a little bit different too.
That's a
Way different.
situation.
Yeah.
They're not employees.
Independent contractors.
Yes.
For most
Thank
of
you.
them, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, order of operations for the application of the 3%. There were some instances where we gave an increase that was like a fixed dollar amount, And then there's the 3%. Does the 3% get applied before or after the fixed dollar amount increase?
May I?
Mr. Auditor, please.
We've gone through this on just about every employee that got the fixed number. There was a 3% first, and then they got their 5,000. The only one that was a little odd was when it was 911, and you just changed the base to that, and then he got the 3% on top of it. It's the only one that went that way because there was no way to take his old rate because you changed his classification, you changed everything.
The only
And there were discussions with key members of the council on doing that.
The only other one I might consider is the weights and measures, just because that one was brought up in the middle of the initial budget session in July, prior to any discussion of a 3%.
And that's the one that I referred to as the only one at this point of the number that was within a few $100s, until now we have this change that you just gave.
Okay.
Now, that answers it as long as we're okay with that.
All right, so now you had some concern regarding verbiage on the ordinance itself?
So yesterday I sent a draft. It's very short, about 490 words of some modifications to the text of the salary ordinance. So there's 8 pages at the beginning of the salary ordinance that covers a variety of different procedural things that departments have to do as it relates to job classification, how the salary ordinance is applied, et cetera. What I'm proposing is adding a couple things in there to address various concerns that we've bumped into. The first one was a conflict and supersession clause, so that way we actually repeal the previous versions of the salary ordinance. Right now, we don't explicitly repeal it, meaning that someone could look at a previous salary ordinance and say, oh, my position was in there. We remove it in the new salary ordinance, and they say, well, that's just layering on top the previous salary ordinances that we did. So that clears it up and says that this is the previous versions are repealed.
And can I give an example? It's when you remove the HVAC position.
Exactly.
That I just want to take a very ominous one that, very easy to think of.
Yeah, so that way there's no ambiguity about that. Another item that I sought to address is restrictions on hiring and classification actions, making sure that it's very, very clear for elected officials and department heads that they have to follow the salary ordinance. They can't be offering positions or making job offers that don't align with what the salary ordinance prescribes. Right now, if someone were to offer make a job offer to someone that didn't line up with the salary ordinance, we might find ourselves in a situation where we're legally bound to pay them, even though it's not what the salary ordinance says and it's not the council's wishes. So,
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't disagree with you. So how do we fix, because we already know what position it was, how do we fix, let's call it the backroom deal, whatever you want to call it. I'll say things out loud, I really don't care. That was made on that particular person's position. So how do we fix that?
That's what I'm seeking to do here. We can't go back retroactively, but we can go forward.
I'm asking, what are you going to put in that's going to make it work? I didn't say you're not trying.
Sure. So the draft text that I prepared here says no department head or elected official shall do any of the following. 1, create, modify, advertise, or offer a position at any classification, title, pay grade, pay rate, or other compensation except as established in the salary ordinance. 2, revise or implement any job description without prior approval of the Job Evaluation Committee and the County Council. 3, make any employment or compensation decision that conflicts with federal or state law, including wage and hour requirements and the Fair Labor Standards Act. 4, engage in any employment decision that would violate Indiana's prohibition on ghost employment or nepotism. 5, hire for or fill any position not authorized and funded in the adopted salary ordinance without council approval. 6, adjust starting pay, grant any pay increase, or alter any employee's classification without the approvals required under this ordinance. And 7, take any action intended to circumvent the compensation or classification limits established by the council. And so it sets out all of those different things that they're not allowed to do. So if they were to make an offer to someone, the next section says any action taken in violation of this ordinance shall be deemed unauthorized, invalid, and subject to rescission, meaning that if they did it, we're taking it back immediately. It's not valid. And so the hope is that then a court would recognize that they made an invalid job offer and the council never recognized or authorized
Good work.
it.
Thank you.
Thanks. This also sets down a violation provision so that if a department head was found to be violating this, the auditor within, originally put 7 days, he has to be 10.
Business days is what I asked, because what if there was a week vacation?
Yeah. No, agree.
And holidays, so I just wanted to give it.
that the auditor prepare a salary ordinance amendment for consideration at our next meeting that reduce that person's salary by 10%. So that way they know that there's a consequence if they go rogue.
Wow, okay, good.
This ordinance also seeks to clarify part-time positions. We looked at what federal law says around this, and it's that a part-time position cannot work more than 130 hours per month. Otherwise, they become considered full-time for the requirements of the Affordable Care Act. So this just sets it out, so it's very, very clear. No department can be creating a position that's working more than 130 hours per month. Another section that deals with severability. If any part of this is found invalid by a court, the rest of it holds. Those are pretty standard for ordinances like this. Annual job description review instructs the Human Resources Director to, on an annual basis, compare the salary ordinance with the job descriptions on file and make sure that they match. We've in the past found that some of them didn't match, so this would ask her to clean that up on an annual basis. And then finally, within 10 days of adoption of the salary ordinance and before any time that a department head or elected official is seeking to fill a position, this ordinance would be provided to them and they would need to certify that they understood the provisions of this and that they would follow them. So that they're telling the county council that I understand there's rules about how we go about hiring someone and that I have to follow them as part of the condition before they can go and fill that position. That's what it seeks to do.
So your last comment was, just prior to that, was that HR would have to straighten out, clean up the
job description.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So sometime that might be a large undertaking.
Yeah. The first time, probably, yeah.
Yes.
So in order, for the essence of time during this meeting and for the sake of better review this, because I think it's great that we talked about it to this extent, but it also is the potential to a revision to the salary ordinance based on the conversation regarding one salary here. Would you be open to having time for each of the members of the council as well as our attorney to review this and have it incorporated for a January revision to the salary ordinance?
Yeah, as long as we're comfortable with that, someone now knows that there's these openings in our salary ordinance. I'm just saying that's out there now.
All I'm saying is that HR is a different type of government that we have, is supermajority. So I think that I don't mind imposing on HR person, but I believe that the commissioner council should find the funding for it. So, because it's not just simple. It's going to be a lot harder than it sounds. That's what I meant.
We definitely could remove that. I'm certainly open to how the HR director goes about doing it. They could just pull together, tell every department, hey, what is the listed position in your job description? Tell me what it is, and then she can quickly look and compare.
That's fair.
She might be able to sub some of this out to departments.
I'd be okay with that. I don't want to overwhelm that situation.
Yeah, me neither. I know there's 700 some positions, and who knows how many job descriptions, and who knows how many are missing in the folder too. So
that satisfies my concern.
Mr. Otter, you were looking for...
You started covering some of it, the difficulty in doing it. We can take the current salary ordinance and have that put into the personnel file so it matches right away. Most of them, it's my understanding, do match. However, there was also brought up a point of whether or not there is a job description in a file and how old is it. And so that is a different undertaking that you should consider next year. We've talked about job efficiencies in the past. I've been starting communicating with some firms to talk about that. I do not have enough information for you at this time to talk further. I found one of the names that was given to me doesn't have the bandwidth to do it. Another, and the two others do. So there's still 3 more names on that list. So we want to, because of the holidays, as I mentioned, the government's hard. You should try an accounting firm at this time of year.
Okay. With that, does anybody have a motion regarding the salary ordinance?
Motion to approve the 2026 salary ordinance with the exemption of what Mr. Keel stated.
So the full list of...
Full list, sir.
Okay. I'll second that.
So a motion by Mr. Yagowski, a second by Mr. Keel. So as I understand it, your motion is to incorporate the changes immediately to from Mr. Keels.
Except for the one that he agreed to pull back out. We're not throwing
HR
this on
director.
HR, that's all.
Okay.
You good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
So you want me to add everything except for one paragraph? I'm just trying to make it clear.
Yes. Yep.
You and I can discuss exactly where, and we can have that done.
Sure. Anywhere's fine, yeah.
It's going to change the numbering on the bottom of a page, a signature page. That's all it's going to do on there.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to make the change to that. We're going to figure out the one employee, right? And we're going to give the 3% increase there. There was a discussion about the stipend, but there was no vote. I don't know if you needed a vote or that's included in your motion. So I want to make clarity there because there was a mention about having to look at everything separately. So I don't want you to rush over like anything got blown over something there. So I want to make sure that that's included or not.
Do you want to talk about the auditor stipend separately from this?
I will hold my motion until let's just do it simple.
We're open for discussion.
Open for
There's one
discussion.
motion and a second, so let's talk.
Yeah.
So as I've looked at things, right, so we have a change regarding the auditor for a stipend of $2,500. As I compare a few other constitutional offices, similar offices, that would put a small bump in front of the next closest constitutional office. It's not a leapfrog, it's just a bump ahead between the auditor, the clerk, the treasurer, and the recorder, which I would say those are the four.
The clerk also gets $3,000 because of the election board. So she goes to extra meetings and she gets paid for it.
I see.
Okay.
Yep. See thank you for that. But what I would say is these are the four offices that are or the three other offices that are the most comparable to the daily operation of the auditors. So
I know you're saying it by salary, but I'm going to disagree on workload and responsibility. That's all. That's my personal opinion. I'm just going to put it out there.
Understood.
You're welcome to come and spend a day with me.
If I may,
Yes.
How do you? I want to give you an opportunity to, rationalize this. But how do you explain when I'm looking at the 2023 AIC fact book, because that's the most recent one I have available with me? It looks like we're paying your office more than the other counties auditors of a similar size. So other peer
It's
counties.
no longer the case. I can show you the new one.
Okay.
I have it upstairs. Unfortunately, I didn't think this was going to be this big of an issue. Okay, Justin, or Mr. Keel, if you want to prefer, I call you that as a respect. But this is to go and account for all the additional meetings that an auditor goes to, such as this one, such as the commissioners' meeting. That's the reason for this being put in play, one of the reasons. Also, as you know, this has been a very exceptional, busy year in this office. And I don't want to bash prior administration, but there are a lot of changes that had to be put in place. And you look at any financial statement that was done, and it proves it. And we've done it. So you required more out of me, more hours out of me, and I've spent more hours in that office. So I'm doing the job that you want me to do, that you need me to do in this county. I'm just asking for what is allowed and to give that. You talk in the private industry, this position is paid much more money. And you've been handing out $5,000 increases to many department heads that made them leapfrog over the people that you talked about, that were just mentioned.
I think it's fair for us to ask questions and to scrutinize this because, I know that when you were up here just a year ago, you would have done the exact same thing for the auditor at that time had he asked for a $2,500 stipend. You probably would have been
Different
at the forefront
person.
kicking the tires on that request.
That was a different person with a different work ethic, with a different amount of things that had to be done. So I really take offense by you trying to compare that.
So let's.
So
I say
we're looking at what
people at this
this
should scrutinize all
auditor has
requests
done.
for salary increases, which is
fine.
what we did every time a department
That's
head
fine.
came up and asked for an increase.
No, I don't think we scrutinized it enough.
Well, sometimes it doesn't happen in the meeting right when
Gentlemen.
they're standing here, but
All right.
Let's move on, please.
Moving on. Any further comments, questions?
Just real quick. Not excluding what you're bringing up, because we never know who's going to be, and if this amount of money we're talking about is just for next year, or is it
It's an annual thing.
annual thing? So I would be okay, it's an annual thing. It's not put in for the future. It's just, it's going to happen just annually. So that's different than an actual raise increase, right? I'm asking.
So, well, that could be conditions of the motion, and being the guy that made the motion.
Okay.
What are you suggesting?
I'll make a motion that that we consider it for that would be considered for the amount that he receives next year to 2,500. We'll go with that amount.
Okay. So, you okay with that amendment?
Amendment to add the,
So as I understand your motion, it is the addition of the $2,500 stipend is up for review at each budget and at each future annual salary ordinance submission. I'm putting a lot of words in your mouth there, but
Got it.
That's what
Okay.
you're saying.
if it says expires like end of 2026 in the salary ordinance, that way we know we have to revisit it. And don't forget, I'm fine with that, yeah.
Okay.
Does that work?
Okay.
I mean, because we're never going to remember all of these that are supposed to be
Oh,
considered annually
you
for
will.
the stipends.
Yes.
all right.
I will be
Make
here
a
some
habit
days,
of
so-
remembering
Yeah,
certain
yeah.
things.
So I'm going to ask that it be added similar to what we see under juvenile probation, where you see the different asterisks and other symbols that say has a master's degree, has a bachelor's degree, those sorts of things. That kind of
Well,
Asterisk
then we're
down.
talking about a different stipend because I have a CPA license and we haven't even talked about that, so.
Oh, I'm just formatting,
Let's
not,
just-
not the content.
That is my motion, yes, sir.
All right, so revised motion, accepted second?
Yes.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor of the 2026 salary ordinance as presented and extensively discussed, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Moving on, emergency declarations. So I'm going to talk to these two briefly. I can accept motions on one, the other, or both as a package, but we have the main LaPorte Courthouse requiring a project to add temporary heating, and hopefully for just a month, which required bringing in a contractor to bring in temporary diesel heaters. The second for JSC, it was the expedited purchase of a heating coil that needed to be replaced and was not repairable, while the other main, I'll call it air handler or furnace, was repairable, but we ended up purchasing a replacement coil for that as well at much less cost due to the expedite fees not needing to be required. So both of those emergency declarations were signed by me. We just need to ratify them at this meeting. Mr. Yagowski.
Mr. President, make motion to accept both the emergency declarations as stated.
A motion by Mr. Yagowski. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Mullenhour. All in favor?
Question, just real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Questions?
So it's not really a question, just a statement. Somehow in your, since we're in the maintenance committee, somehow we got thrown under the bus. I am not saying you guys did anything wrong, but I'm just stating that the committee had nothing to do with this. I don't have a problem taking credit for where credit's due, but somehow we get one of the commissioners decided to throw us, and you guys all received emails about the stuff that we did and stuff we didn't do. Our committee is the ad hoc committee. We can't make anybody do anything. We suggest to the commissioner goes in front of the commissioners and states our findings. We do not, because it would make our committee a different committee, but we're an ad hoc committee, and we are not doing that, just to state it, that's all.
No, I completely agree. As being involved in the review of those four packages, those four quotes that were presented, I would agree that there was a lot of discussion for over 2 hours as to the best way to approach this. So, but it was not driven by the ad hoc committee, as you mentioned. Mr. Hoffield, I'll invite you, if it's an option, you can pass. Anything you'd want to add about that process before we go forward?
As you stated, we did speak for substantially for about 2 hours plus, and I took your advice, Jimmy, as a construction, and plus Ms. Davis for the building maintenance. I made the decision on it. I think it was the most easy, quickest fix we could get to heat into there. All four proposals basically were the same. It was going to be the same ideal how we did it. This was also least intrusive in the courthouse and the quickest way to get done. So if there's any problems with that, I'll take full responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's any, unless there's any additional discussion, then Mr. Keel.
I just wanted to say thank you to those that were involved. I know Mr. Crunk and Mr. Pressel and our maintenance director were involved in making sure that this was competitively procured. And I know it's a tight turnaround to do such a thing, but I appreciate it. It matters to make sure that we show the public that we're competitive in our procurement. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor of ratifying the emergency declarations, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you. Old business, 2025 amended salary ordinance.
This is for one person that you made a decision last month that was not in the previous amended. All you need to do is say, pass it, sign it, and it's all done. Person's already been paid, got caught up.
Motion approved.
Second.
Treasurer.
Treasurer.
All right, motion by Mr. Yagowski, second by Mr. Keel. Any discussion? All in favor of accepting the amended 2025 salary ordinance, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you.
Sorry, I got lost where he was at.
No biggie. All right, moving on to new business. So we have removed the LaPorte County IT request, moving down to LaPorte County Adult Probation, requesting additional appropriation for the transport of a probationer into,
So can I clarify on that?
you're moving a probationer into a fund.
No, it's not an additional appropriation. When a person wants to transfer their supervision from Indiana to another county, they have to pay $125. Half of that we get, half of it goes downstate. That money accumulates into a inmate transfer, or basically recovery from another state. So if they go to Wyoming, they violate their probation, and we issue a warrant to bring them back, that money, that account covers it. So we're just looking to appropriate this money, not additional. It's coming out of the fund that exists.
It's earmark it for us to be able to spend it. If we don't earmark it, that's...
And it's paid by those that transfer.
All right.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Mullenhour, second by Mrs. Heath. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
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 Oh, let's check that. Thank you for the check. So, Mr. Mullenhour, do you have a recommendation on a fund?
I don't think we have to.
Well, it comes out of the transfer fund.
He's just trying to appropriate. So it should have been moved down below and a permission to spend.
Correct.
Okay.
And appropriate. So it's our misunderstanding as well.
Yep, we're just looking at the agenda. Understand that.
I didn't get a chance to ask him, so.
No worries.
It's
All
only
right.
One of the things.
I'll be here.
The other, that's why I
Nope, we're good. So, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Down to the LaPorte County Board of Commissioners, requesting additional appropriation for emergency declaration for one, the Hyler Building bathrooms in the amount of $139,995, and number two, for the LaPorte Courthouse emergency heating, total amount of approximately $82,000 based off of the proposal plus our estimated fuel costs.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Yagowski.
just for clarification, is the Hyler Building bathrooms been put as emergency declaration?
No, so I would revise what we have.
All right.
I read this verbatim exactly. You're 100%. There was no emergency declaration, and therefore we didn't talk about it earlier. That is, the emergency declaration is entirely for number two, LaPorte Courthouse. The Hyler Building was a
Bid process.
closed bid process that was reviewed and accepted by the Board of Commissioners. So,
Sorry.
based on that, I will consider it motions either together or independently.
Does the auditor's office have a preference between the two funds?
If it's an emergency declaration,
Sorry, if it's an emergency declaration, we highly recommend that you take it from the rainy day fund.
Is our rainy day fund ordinance?
It does allow us to take it for emergencies.
Does it require us pass an ordinance to spend from it? I feel like state law requires us to pass ordinances to spend from rainy day every time we do it.
Actually, I believe you're right.
This is an additional appropriation, so this is,
An ordinance.
okay. The ordinance was, you've passed it. You mean as flat-out ordinance to spend from there?
I think so.
I would have to go back and see it because I don't recall that.
Mr.
And take
Attorney?
it from CCD, both of them.
Mr. Keel?
Mr. DiMartino?
I believe if you look at the language, I think the fund is actually in the emergency declaration. So I think that would suffice, even though it's not titled an ordinance.
Perhaps. Let's see if I can find some.
Whatever. So take it all as CCD then.
I would say let's take it off from CCD.
Take it out of CCD.
While they're
Yeah, I think there were two funds that were listed for the courthouse.
Yes, CCD and
Yeah,
rainy day.
yeah.
Probably in that order, then.
And we can take both from CCD.
Yes. There's adequate
Well,
funding.
can we do one at a time? Because I need to talk about the contract for Hyler.
Okay, then I'll take the recommendation. Let's
Make a motion of support to fund the Hyler building restrooms out of CCD.
I'll second.
motion by Mr.
Well,
No support, just a motion.
Motion.
So, motion to approve out of CCD for the Hyler Building bathrooms.
okay, hold on one sec, just so you.
They won't vote
Okay,
until
you
you're
can
done
second it,
talking.
and then we can discuss it. Yep.
I'll still second.
All right, so I have a motion and a second. Go ahead, Mr. DiMartino.
Okay, so there's no contract yet because they sent me a contract. I sent them changes and a writer to the contract. So y'all can fund it subject to the contract being approved. But as we stand here today, we do not have a contract.
Is it still going to be that amount?
I saw that designate.
The amount is going to be that, yes.
Okay.
That's what's- you can see that.
So amend the,
There's a state law requirement.
Amend my motion until the
to include
contract
the
is
subject to the
subject to
acceptance of a contract.
contract
correct?
by county attorney.
Okay, so I have
Good with the second on that yet?
he's making a revision subject of his.
Another second.
All right. Okay, any further discussion? All in favor of approving the Hyler Building bathrooms out of County Capital Development, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
Nay.
Thank you.
Time you showed how.
I know.
All right, so now let's talk about the emergency heating in the LaPorte Courthouse. So when I looked at the emergency declaration, it calls out both the CCD and rainy day. So to Mr. DiMartino's point, if that in fact counts as an ordinance or resolution, then I think we're covered when it comes to rainy day.
Let me just add one thing, Mr. Karanka.
Yes,
that
sir.
if you look at our ordinance, if you're going to go through rainy day, it requires the auditor to give you an idea of what the payback's going to be, how long it's going to take to pay back that money based on the income that goes into the rainy day fund. So, for instance, if it was $1 and it would take 4 months to build that dollar back up, that's a statement that needs to be on the record.
The statement on the record will be that it'll take us 3 months and we'll get approximately $175,000.
Every 3 months?
Yeah.
Yep.
We're collecting 1.4 million without surplus. So it comes out to 350 a quarter, 175, 50% of it goes into rainy day. That's where I'm coming up with my 175.
And that seems in
thank you.
line with the last two.
Thank you for that clarification. I remembered as you started to say it.
Okay. Is your concern addressed at this point?
Enough, yeah.
Okay. So I'll take a motion, including an account that we want to pull from.
Make a motion to fund the LaPorte Courthouse out of rainy day fund.
A motion by Mr. Pressel. Do I have a
Second.
second? Second by Mr. Kessler. Any further discussion?
Just one thing, that would be not to exceed the amount.
Correct.
Correct. So if this if this contract allows for additional costs, but they would have to come back to you for any additional costs.
Yeah.
Okay? So I just want to make sure we wanted to be able to pay them for jumping in here, getting the job done up to this date, and carrying it at least 30 days.
That's correct. Or any shift in cost, fuel cost from whatever Coal Alliance is called now. Can you help me with that?
Keystone.
Keystone, thank you.
Welcome.
All right. All in favor of funding out of rainy day, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Transfers, permission to spend appropriate. Mr. Yagowski. Oh,
Nay vote.
That was a delay.
I had already written it down and crossed it out.
No.
We're good. No, I didn't even
all
write
right.
it down yet.
6-1. Transfers, permissions to spend and appropriate. LaPorte County Circuit Court requesting to spend no more than $1,000 for 4 items from the adult probation user fee. So this is a not to exceed.
Correct.
Hey, what are the 4 items?
Well, let me tell you.
Again.
2 packs of stickers, like 1 to 100, numbered. Area rug, some chairs, and a couch.
All right. I think you can stay
I know
under
the
1,000.
expensive stuff, but we have to scrutinize the $5.99 stickers. Please tell me where you got them from, what type, size, shape. Were they competitively procured?
Yes, they were.
All right.
Amazon.
Motion to approve.
Probably.
Motion to approve by Mr. Pressel. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Kessler.
But the furniture isn't it the children's furniture?
Ah,
Okay.
okay. So for
I
discussion,
wanted to make sure you
please.
knew that.
That's very important.
children's
So
furniture,
in this case, let's highlight it because it's a good thing.
Yep.
But you've all voted.
Juveniles, children are not often available, or childcare isn't available for children to not be in courtrooms. We need a space for them. This gives them some kind of entertaining space outside the courtroom while parents are having to conduct whatever business they got to conduct, and I think this is a good thing. So, all right.
How about county council members?
County council members?
What, you get a babysit?
No. Playtime.
All right. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. LaPorte County Auditor requesting transfer of $136.28 for printing OT's office and $1,408.74 professional services to lease rental payment to cover shortfall.
Like our mortgage payment, so it came in a little higher than what was.
The lease rental is our payment on the Michigan City Court and Courthouse, and therefore, when it came in a little higher, it was under budgeted. The only way to go into a 400 account is getting your permission.
Okay. I love it. Any recommendations for a motion?
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion approved by Mr. Yagowski, second by Mr. Kessler. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you. And the last one, the last major addition to the agenda, we have look for a motion of support for Juvenile Services Center for a BizHub copier replacement.
Mr. President,
And
Actually, it's
Yep.
2.
it's 2.
Total amount is $12,814.98. And it would come out of, so permission to spend, or support to spend,
Motion to
and encumber out of Fund 1,2002100000176. Other supplies. So he has the funds, he just needs a motion of support so he can encumber.
Mr. President.
Mr. Yagowski.
So the committee deemed it necessary to replace this item, but it also follows through with, I did mention that we're going to be coming to you in February with the recommendations for the copier printers. And this falls, he's going to retire some small desktops to make that happen so that he will follow what the recommendation of the committee will have. So it fits into our whole scheme of what we're trying to do next year.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Now, so my understanding was that there was one failed printer.
Well, and the copier up front is, we can no longer get parts in the main office.
Okay. So this is a good time to take care of two
Yes.
at once.
It was dormant.
that makes sense. So leaving a doorstop there does not do us any good.
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Campbell, do you have anything to add?
His microphone don't work.
Okay.
Sure he
That's
does.
why that's why I'm talking. He's just listening.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion of support.
Motion of support by Mr. Mullenhour.
Second?
Second by Mrs. Heath. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And just to let you know, 2 others have failed this year in 2 other departments, and they've all come through you to go get them. So,
Mr. Attorney,
No comments, sir.
any members of the council have any comments?
Wish you guys all Merry Christmas.
Same to you, sir, and to everyone else up here.
Likewise.
Motion adjourned.
Thank you. Thank you. All in favor of adjourning, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
and best wishes for a happy holiday and healthy season to all.
Same to you, and everybody that's traveling.
I'm sure that you said that and I missed it, so.
We had this now. Good timing.